We're at the final site here on Breakers Point. And wouldn't you know it, we're on top of a TSA Lupe, or a pigeon-catching mound. And just like in Blunt's Point, in Breakers Point, the Marine Corps put its foundations to coordinate all the gun lines. This was their original datum to basically orient all the gun lines. And you can see here, just on top of it, similar to what we have in Blunt's Point, you have platforms, small concrete platforms that they could to use their measurements as the datum to coordinate all the fire along this ridge using the 6-inch howitzers, the heavy mortars, and also the smaller mortars and crew serve weapons. And Lomi's going to basically take you in a panorama view. First, we're going to go down here to see to show the platforms, the concrete platforms. And then all the way around, so you can see that we're on kind of the highest part of the ridge on the TSA Lupe. Very similar to what we find at Blunt's Point, but here at Breakers Point, it's much more heavily vegetated. So again, some of the characteristics: a lot of crew serve weapons, fighting positions, and also single fighting positions. A lot of concrete platforms for the heavy mortars, for some crew serve weapons, for anti-aircraft. Also positions not only on the summit, but also on the defilade side, just slightly down from the ridge line, so that the Japanese would have to use high angle fire, which would be very difficult for Japanese vessels and warships to use. But again, these were the two fighting positions, and concealing in all of this were the two 6-inch howitzers, both in Breakers Point and in Blunt's Point, ready to put that killing move on a Japanese warship. Now, it must be said that that the U.S. Marine Corps realized that once they fired those howitzers, pretty much the Japanese were going to immediately counterattack. But what they did what they wanted to do is protect those 6-inch guns as long as possible, and then make it very, very difficult for the Japanese to overcome the defenses of American Samoa and capture American Samoa, which was the last defensive point linking the United States to Australia. Now, one last thing. The Marines heavily invested here. They invested also islands of Manua. But what happened was Midway. As soon as the U.S. defeated the Japanese in Midway, now the Japanese were put on the defensive and American Samoa was safe. But what they did is they took the Marines from American Samoa and redeployed them to Guadalcanal. A very difficult fighting in Guadalcanal. A lot of Marines lost their lives. So the Marines went from the defense to the offense, and from there on, they were on the offense. But this is just a vestige, just a memory, a wonderful memory of the Marine Corps and the defense, that the Marines not only focus on the offense, but were also very adroit in defending these island homes.